Hi everyone, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name is Ethan Van Sciver, and I'm gonna make a serious video today. I got up very early. I got to get on an airplane, make a meeting, and you know I have to take time away. My flight's at 10:30. It's now 7:10. I am not packed. None of that matters. Um, Part of doing what I do means that I form a close bond, whether I know it or not, with some people in my audience, and that's a responsibility. I listen. I am just a clown. I'm just one guy in my office talking about Star Wars, drawing pictures of frogs. I don't feel like I am the pillar of wisdom. I don't think I'm the paragon of virtue, anything like that. But I do care about you guys a great deal. And I got an upsetting note this morning, and I had to. I was going to stay in bed for like another, I don't know, 15 minutes, but I hopped out of bed and figured, look, I'm not much of a writer at all. I don't write inspiring notes, letters. My wife is always next to me saying, "Why are you plucking at your iPad?" I just tap on the iPad. It makes noise, and it takes a long time to compose a letter, which is why most of my responses to people consist of, "Okay, sounds good." I don't, I have to actually speak, and I have to, put on my headset and turn on my camera phone and just talk. This is a drawing that I did in 1993 of Andrea's eye. I knew Andrea when she was 16 years old. Andrea is my wife now. But I didn't know that that was ever going to happen then. I just thought she was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. And wouldn't dare ask her for a date. Wouldn't dare. I just kind of let our friendship be. And didn't know, couldn't comprehend then what she would mean to me later. But I was 18 years old and she was 16, and I sat her down, and being kind of a pretentious artist, I said, "Let me draw your eye," and I drew her eye, and she cut it out of the sheet of paper that it was on. Look, you see my signature there. It actually says "Portrait of Andrea's Eye." That was my sense of humor, but she kept it all these years and showed it to me again recently, and it was an extraordinary moment where you realize that uh, you know the way that you are living your life now, and your hopes and expectations, and the things that you are dreaming about and thinking are your destiny, almost never are. And you can't tell what's going to happen tomorrow. You have no idea. You have no idea what's right around the corner from you. Um, and we all think we know what's best, and we all insist on fighting for something. Oftentimes, especially in love, especially in relationships, we often feel like it's important, it's necessary. There's no other alternative than to fight for something that we have preconceived. And we don't realize how good things can be um, if we just let go and let God. This is directed at you, S. I'm going to let you know that this video is for you in responding to your email. Um, I feel what you're saying. I know what you mean. I know that you had expectations, and I know they're crushed right now, and I know that you're feeling like you're in a very dark place. I was feeling the same way. I got married to a woman who, she's great. She gave me Hunter's mother, and I wanted it to work out. I didn't realize that it wasn't what was best for me, but I insisted on forcing it to work out, like trying really. It seemed inconceivable that there could be any other pathway for me, my future, than to make this marriage work. But it wasn't meant to be, and I went through a period of mourning, of course, a period where everything seemed dark, a period where I didn't think that I had a future. And that period lasted, a good few months. It lasted a good few months, and I didn't even realize how good life was going to be right around the corner. How could I have ever conceived? How could I have ever understood? Because I was so set in my ways. I was so set under this impression that this was it. This was all that there was for me. And it wasn't very much longer until Andrea and I got back in touch and realized she'd gotten a divorce from her husband. I was about to get divorced from my wife. Yeah, in North Carolina, you have to stay married for a year but live separately. So I was still married, technically, even though we were living very separate lives. It's cruel. It's a cruel thing in North Carolina. You should be able to just get divorced, if once people realize that it's not going to work out and they've moved on. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know how good life was going to be right around the corner. And that's hard to understand, That's hard to understand when you are in that dark place where you can't see any light. The tunnel ahead is dark. You can't see a future for yourself, and you don't know. I don't know if you have faith in God, but I want you to know that you have no idea how good things can be. You have no idea how good your life could get if you just kind of endure this. Endure this. Find a distraction. And remember that, in the short term, there are great movies, there's great music, there's delicious food. There's whiskey, good whiskey, in limited quantities, in limited quantities. And there are people that care about you. There's community. There's a community that cares about you. And I promise you, this community does care about you. This is so out of my purview. I hope I'm doing okay. Don't throw away what promises to be a bright future because of a temporary heartbreak. And I know that you will hear that and say, yeah, but she was this and she was that. That's short-term thinking. I felt the same way about my ex. Couldn't imagine anything else, and now look where I am. I've never been happier in my life. I had no idea this was what was in store for me. The same thing could be in store for you. Hold on tight. Endure this like a man. This is no different than anything else that you've been through. It's going to be a bad time for you. Obviously, it is. But laugh your way through some of my videos. Enjoy yourself. Try to find some distraction. Pray. Always pray to God. And see it through. We have a long time together. We all do. All right. Thanks for listening. Take good care.